I swear, I never thought my own house could feel like a place I didn't recognize. But the moment I walked in that evening, something in the air felt wrong. Like the walls had been holding their breath all day waiting for me to come home. And the quiet wasn't the normal quiet. It was heavy, loaded, like when you walk into a room right after someone stops talking about you. Mom wasn't in the kitchen cooking, like she always was around that time, and the lights were off, even though she hates the dark. So I called out to her, trying to sound normal, casual, but my voice echoed back, too clean, too empty. And instantly, my stomach tightened. Because anytime Mom doesn't answer the first time, something is usually off. I dropped my bag on the counter and checked the living room, then the backyard, then her bedroom, and each space felt colder than the last, like someone had been in the house who shouldn't have been, someone who didn't belong. When I noticed her phone still on the nightstand, screen lit with unanswered texts from me, I felt this weird sting behind my eyes. Not sadness, not fear, something sharper. Something that whispered, "This isn't normal, Ava. Wake up. Pay attention." And then there was Grant, my stepfather, staring in the hallway with that stiff smile he uses when he wants me to trust him, even though I never do. And he said Mom went to clear her head, which already sounded like a lie because she never goes anywhere without her phone. And the whole time he talked, his eyes didn't match his voice. They were flat, cold, like he was watching my reaction instead of actually explaining anything. I asked him where she went, what time, who she was with, and he just shrugged, like she was some neighbor he barely knew, not the woman he married. And that's when I noticed the faint scrape mark on the floor near the basement door, like something heavy had been dragged, and Grant shifted his foot over it so quickly it felt intentional, like he didn't want me looking at it. My heart started racing, but I forced myself to stay calm, to ask normal questions, to keep my face blank, because deep down, I felt something I didn't want to admit, that whatever happened to Mom didn't happen outside this house. So I waited until he walked away. Then I crept back to the basement door, pressing my ear against the wood, holding my breath so I could hear every tiny sound. And somewhere under all that silence, under the hum of the refrigerator and the old pipes in the walls, I heard it. A soft, shaky, terrified whisper calling my name from below. And in that moment, I knew my whole life was about to break open. So stay with me, because what I'm about to uncover gets darker fast. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The second I heard that whisper, my whole body froze, like my brain couldn't decide whether to run or scream or pretend I didn't hear anything at all. But I forced myself to keep breathing quietly, because if Grant heard me standing there by the basement door, I knew he'd come up with some sweet, fake explanation, the kind that sounds reasonable until you replay it later and realize it never made sense. So instead, I slowly backed away like nothing happened and walked toward the kitchen, acting casual while my mind raced through every possible scenario. Was Mom hurt? Was she tied up? Was she even alive? And why the hell was she whispering my name like she was terrified someone might hear her? I grabbed a water bottle just to keep my hands from shaking, and from the corner of my eye, I saw Grant watching me from the living room, pretending to scroll through his phone, but clearly tracking every move I made, which only confirmed what I'd been afraid to admit. He knew precisely where Mom was, and he didn't want me getting close. I needed a plan, something innovative, something he wouldn't see coming, so I went upstairs to my room and locked the door, pressing my back against it. At the same time, my mind replayed every weird thing Grant had done over the past month, the sudden arguments he started with Mom, the nights she cried quietly in the bathroom, the way she seemed scared to be alone with him but wouldn't say why, and the bruise on her wrist she swore came from bumping into the pantry door, even though the shape looked like someone's fingers. I tried calling her phone again, even though it was downstairs, and hearing it vibrate against her nightstand sent a chill through me so deep I felt like I was sinking underwater.
I knew I needed evidence, proof, because if I went to the cops with just a feeling, Grant would flip the script instantly, turning himself into the sweet husband and me into the dramatic daughter. They'd send me home with him as if nothing had happened. So I grabbed my old backup phone, the one he didn't know about, and opened the voice recorder, telling myself I was going to record everything the moment I opened that basement door. But just as I reached for the doorknob to leave my room, I heard footsteps outside, slow, deliberate, right in front of my door. And Grant's voice came through, soft and way too calm, saying, "Ava, you okay in there? You've been quiet." My heart slammed against my ribs because I knew he wasn't checking on me. He was checking what I knew. I swallowed hard and said I was fine, but his shadow didn't move for a good 10 seconds, and when it finally did, I felt this cold certainty settle in my chest. If I didn't move fast, I might end up in the basement next to Mom. Stay with me because things are about to get a whole lot darker. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. I waited until Grant's footsteps faded down the hall, counting each creak on the stairs like a countdown to whatever was coming next. And once I was sure he'd gone back to the living room, I slipped my backup phone into my pocket, opened my bedroom door as quietly as I could, and moved toward the basement like every instinct in my body was screaming at me to run the other way. But Mom's whisper wouldn't leave my head. So I forced myself down the stairs, one trembling step at a time, praying the old wood wouldn't give me away. And when I reached the basement door, I pressed the recorder before slowly turning the knob. And to my shock, it wasn't even locked, which somehow terrified me more because it felt like Grant wasn't hiding the basement. He was hiding whatever he'd done inside it. The air hit me first, cold and stale like the place hadn't been opened in days. And I whispered, "Mom?" even though I didn't want to hear an answer. But then I heard a faint shuffling sound, soft and desperate, coming from the far corner behind the old storage shelves. And my chest tightened so hard I almost couldn't breathe as I stepped forward, using my phone's screen glow as the only light. And that's when I saw something on the floor. Duct tape, rope, and a broken ceramic cup I recognized from Mom's favorite set, the one she never let anyone use. And I knew she'd fought back. The thought nearly shattered me. I whispered her name again, and this time a hand reached out from behind the shelves, shaking, fingers curled like she was gripping onto her last bit of strength. And when I rushed over and pulled the boxes aside, Mom appeared. Pale, exhausted, terrified, but alive. And the second she saw me, she grabbed my wrist and whispered, "Ava, he took my phone. He said he'd hurt you if I tried to run. You have to get out before he—" But she never finished because heavy footsteps echoed above us, slow and deliberate, heading straight toward the basement door. My stomach dropped as I helped her stand, and she kept saying, "Leave me, go, just go." But there was no way in hell I was leaving her, so I dragged her behind the water heater just as the door creaked open and Grant's silhouette sealed the stairs, his voice calm and chilling as he said, "Ava, I know you're down here. Let's talk like adults." I held Mom tighter and hit send on my phone's emergency upload, hoping the recording made it to the cloud before he found us. And just as his footsteps hit the bottom step, the house lights flickered, followed by the unmistakable sound of police sirens pulling up outside. And Grant froze as his entire plan had just collapsed. I exhaled for the first time in minutes because the truth was finally about to come out. But trust me, the fallout from this night had only just begun. So stay with me for what happens next, and don't forget to like and subscribe.